Today we're just going to do a little thought experiment of sorts. Today we're going to look over US type coins and figure out which is the most American of all the US coins, right after this. So when we talk about what coin is the most American, of course we're talking about the design and the symbolism. So most early American coins were based on the Libertas Americana. They had a flowing hair liberty like this one and a liberty cap. But those coins didn't really last for very long, so it's hard to say that they would be the most iconic American coins. After that, there were different depictions of liberty, usually with a crown and her hair done up. The same design on the half cent and cent. And then, of course, the different liberties on the type coins. So everything from the half dime to the half dollar would have had these liberties, starting with the bust liberty, the seated liberty, and of course the barber design liberty. But all of these are kind of generic, just depictions of liberty. There's also the seated liberty for the trade dollar. Since trade dollars didn't circulate in the United States, you can't make a very good argument for this being the most iconic American coin. Probably the first uniquely American design was the flying eagle, since the eagle is the national bird of the United States. The flying eagle cent was only in circulation for a couple of years till it was replaced by the Indian head cent. The Indian head cent is actually a depiction of liberty wearing an Indian headdress. So while she looks Native American, she actually wasn't necessarily meant to depict a Native American. But since those were around for 50 years, you could definitely think of the Indian head cent as the most iconic of the US coins, but I think there are probably some better examples. So there are still two more liberties to talk about, the Morgan dollar and the peace dollar. So both of these depictions of liberty are fairly well regarded, but I think the Morgan dollar is probably the favorite of most people. So as far as liberty heads, I think the Morgan dollar would be the most iconic of them. But there are still at least 4 other coins I think that we should consider as the most American. So in the turn of the century, they redesigned all of the American coins, and actually started by putting Lincoln on the cent, the first president on a coin. But these depictions of liberty, I think, are the most iconic. So we've got the walking liberty half, the standing liberty quarter, the what we call Mercury dime, and then we have kind of a little outlier in the Buffalo nickel. So of course the standing liberty, or the walking liberty I mean, half, it's very iconic. It's got the flag flapping in the breeze, walking towards the sun. The standing liberty, she's got her shield, and if this was a better one, you could see that she has some chainmail on, symbolize, the victory of World War I. And the Mercury dime, she's wearing this winged hat, which kind of symbolizes the freedom of thought. Now, the Buffalo nickel, has a realistic depiction of a Native American on one side, and on the reverse has American bison. So this one has just, in my opinion, the most, iconic of just American symbolism to it. Now, while Native Americans weren't always highly regarded in the United States, we spent 100 years trying to put them on reservations and such. But at this point in time, celebrating the Native Americans was just the in thing. And of course, the same with the bison. They were hunted till there were almost none of them. And then, few people could see that there was going to be a time soon when we didn't have any. And what a shame that would be. So, of these three coins, I think you could make a strong case for any of these being the most American. But I'm going to give it to the Buffalo nickel. I think that this is the most iconic American coin. But let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.